Engineering. I'm Alan. In today's video I'm making this bracket out of aluminium with a steel piece at 12mm and two brass thumb screws to hold a digital microscope onto the milling machine. So let's go into the workshop and see how we do it. I want to make a bracket similar to that, so I can hold my microscope in other devices, and the hole diameter I need to cut is 35mm. Now I've got this piece of aluminium, 10mm thick, and I think I might just get the bracket out of that. I don't need these bits on the sides where the holes are, so that will be cut off. Now I have this hole saw, which is a 35mm hole saw. Now the first thing I want to do, set the aluminium up in the mill vise and drill a hole through the centre where I want the 35mm hole. placed a piece of brass bar in the chuck and I'll just face off the front. I just want to put a little step on the front. This is going to be a clamping screw. I just want to relieve the front so if it burrs over at all, it's not going to catch on the thread. So what I'm going to do is reduce the diameter to 4mm, about 3mm long. Using a die, I'll cut a 5mm thread. Now I need to put a knurl on this diameter. Change to a parting off tool. There's the part. All I need to do is face off, so I can take the press out. I've just held the screw in a nut in the 3-jaw chuck. made a second one. There you can see two brass thumb screws that now fit into the holder. So all I need to do now is the steel bar that holds everything together. Just put my die stock on and I'm just cutting an 8mm thread. So at the moment we have 8mm thread on this end, 10mm diameter here, 12mm diameter for the rest. Now I want to part this off and that's that part finished. break the last bit off. That should fit in there. 8mm nut and washer on there, and that will convert the microscope stand into a 12mm bar which I can hold in the milling machine. This is the original microscope fitting with the rack and pinion and the holder, and this is the one I've just made. And I've made this so I can fit the microscope to the milling machine. You might say, well, there's no rack and pinion on this one, I can't, but I can use the milling machine to move it up and down, the table to go in and out, forward and backwards, and to focus I just higher or lower the head of the milling machine. And that's how it fits into the milling machine, just on an ER20 collet. Here's the microscope, and the bracket fits underneath with the 2 thumb screws that we made from the brass, and the 12mm bar comes up the side. There's an ER20 collet which is a 12mm collet, and the bar will fit into that. So it just fits into the side there. Hand screw the microscope tight. Now I'll have a look at the front. I'll switch on the microscope. See if I can focus in. Okay, I've got 5mm screw held in the vise. Now what we can do to make the background a little brighter, just put a piece of paper on the table. So now that gives you a better outline of the microscope. You can see this black line on here. I've just put that on with a felt tip pen. I still have the screen protector on this. You could probably get a screen protector for a tablet that would stick on there, cut it out to size, and with a felt tip pen just put a line near centre. It doesn't matter the position. That was the type of pen I used, a very fine pen, and it gives you a fine line. Then you can use the X and Y axis on your milling machine to position the part under the microscope. So let's see if we can get a larger image. So if I lower the Z axis or the milling machine head down, lock it in position, I can then refocus. So I could use my X-axis to, say, go in the middle of the thread there. Move it to the next pitch position, which is about there. And that's saying 0.955mm. Now we know that's a 1mm pitch, so it only really depends how accurate you can judge it. That's 1mm there. So I think if we magnify it a bit more by bringing the head closer to the just do that with the I have a red line on there as well, but I'm using the black line for now. I can move that so I've got half it, that's it, shows the black line up better. Move that onto the centre of the V of the thread, which is about there. 0. Move to the next one. Which is about there. And that says 0.995, so it gives you a good idea what the thread is. I'll just see if I can draw a line down the middle, give me an idea. Now I should be able to measure diameter. So bring the line up to the tip of the thread. Which is about there. Set it to 0 and go across to the other side. I can move up and down to the tip of the next thread. About there, and that says that's 5.885 millimeter diameter. I'll move it so the crosshair is in the middle of the V. I can then zero my Y and move it so you can see how deep the thread is. About there, and that is 0.6. So it just gives you another option to use the microscope. Let's see what else we can look at. Okay, I've put a piece of white plastic on so I can move the cursor line to the edge of the plastic. About there. Zero my x-axis, move it to the other side of the plastic, which is about there, and that tells me that that distance is 6 millimeters, 6.005. I could do the same on the other axis, move it across. Zero it there, move it back to the other side, and that way it says it's 5.995. Oh well, that's it for today. Hope that was useful, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Enots Engineering.